Hello, everyone. Welcome to People on Dating. I'm your host, Willie Morales, and on today's show, I have Ken. And our topic today is your best friend influences you. So, Ken, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good, and I'm glad that we have Ken on because Ken is a millennial. Ken is a young man. So far, most of my guests, Ken, have been 45 and plus.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I think you're the youngest so far. What are you, about 31, 32?
I'm 36.
36. So you're still a
Yeah,
millennial. You're still
yeah.
there.
I'm still in that category.
Yeah. So anyway, it's funny because when I decided to write, some of the topics that came to mind, this one, your best friend influences you, went through. The reason why I wanted to do that was a friend of mine. He was going out with this girl, and the girl's friend was single.
hmm
So the girl would always talk to my friend's girlfriend about hanging out, and she ended up hanging out with her friend because, I think the excuse she gave her boyfriend was, oh, she's single, she's going through a rough time. Let me hang out with her. Let me be there. But at the end, the girl introduced the girlfriend to someone else,
Yeah.
and the girlfriend ended up cheating on my friend.
mm
And so that was like, when I heard that, I was like, wow, that's tough. And they were best friends, the two girls.
Right.
So, I said to myself, wow, I can't say that ever happened to me, but I could relate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've seen that a couple of times happen through my time. I don't think it ever happened directly to me exactly. When in terms of influence, I tend to I do have a habit of listening to my friends over who I'm dating.
Right.
That kind of influence.
Oh, no, no,
Cause I kind of
that's true too. I mean, sorry,
yeah.
can I don't mean to cut you off? Because I've been through that where I was dating someone, this is years ago, and I asked, my friend's opinion, and he's a
Mm,
close friend, close to a best friend. You could might as well say yes.
yeah.
And he would say, oh, no, you don't need her, leave her alone. There's plenty of girls out there. I have a bunch of female friends I can introduce you to. And then you listen,
Yeah.
even though your heart is definitely not in it. You want to
Right.
be, back with the girl you really care for.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think in my situation, my friends were actually right about the girl.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I did listen to them and didn't continue with them, and then I found out that girl about her past of how she was moving around with guys she was dating, and pretty much I dodged a bullet on that one. But I remember, yeah, but I've seen situations uh, where uh, like one of my friends had a girlfriend, and they went away for college at the time, and she was just like she made friends over there over her like the guys in her school, and at first like he wasn't too concerned about it. He
Right.
thought she was like, she's a good girl. She like all that stuff, but I guess like some of those guys got in her ears and started like saying, "Hey, you don't know what he's doing on his side, and you never know. Like he could be, you could, this is your first year of college and all that stuff." Next, she kind of fell for it, and meanwhile, he was just, school work, maybe go out a few times, but never do anything crazy.
Right.
And like it was like guys' night out or something like that, but never like she doing anything type of cheating type of stuff. And yeah, but then he found out that she was cheating on the guy that was like influencing her to like leave him. In a
Oh,
sense.
wow.
So yeah, it was crazy for him because he had like a lot of trust issues after that for a while.
Yeah, my
So
friend went through the same thing. He had a lot of
yeah,
trust issues, and
yeah,
he wasn't too keen on best friends,
right,
And and again, I can understand that because, like I said, I've asked opinions of close friends, best friends,
hmm
whatever you want to call it, and sometimes I listen, sometimes I don't. And the problem is, it's at the end of the day, you got to listen to yourself. You got to listen to your heart and your gut.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. Like I think as I got older, I have to listen to what I want because in the day I'm gonna be with that person. Like I'm gonna value my friends' opinions, but I can't let them constantly be in my ear of what makes me happy. You know,
Yeah, and
so
that's the thing. If they're going to be constantly in your ear, sooner or later, I mean, unless you're a strong person, it seems like you're doing that where you're like, you know what, it's going to be up to me anyway to do it, not
right,
not your words. You know what I mean?
right, right, right. So it's hard. Like sometimes it's hard because you do want to. It's a gamble in a sense when it comes to like dating and relationship because you don't know what to expect in the future, and sometimes your friends could be right about that person and they could be wrong. So it's like a 50-50. It's basically 50-50 flip. What do you call that? What's that gamble? Red and black.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Blackjack? Not
blackjack. Yeah,
blackjack. Yeah, yeah.
it's like that. It's like you don't know what the ball's gonna land at. But
Oh no, you
you
mean like the roulette wheel, right?
the roulette, Russian
The
roulette. Yeah,
roulette wheel.
sorry,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Russian.
That's what I meant. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's like that. So you don't know where the ball's gonna drop at. And like you're hoping it's hits on red, and then it's on black, and you're like, oh man. But
It's true. It's true.
yeah, so I don't know. For me, like this topic is always interesting to me because my early 20s, I kind of fell for that. Like I was influenced by my friends. I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing because to me, I value them because most of them had more experience in terms of dating than me.
Right.
So it was like I went for them for advice all the time, like how to date, what to do. Granted, I kind of found out like how they do things, but works for them and not for me.
Not
Because
necessarily for you.
personality
Yeah,
wise, yeah,
exactly.
because personality wise, because I was just like I was never like out there just put my best go forward to a stranger and be like, hey, to a random girl and be like, hey, what's your name, what's your number, and all that stuff. Like it had to be like a mutual friend or some sort. So I always had to ask people like how do they do it, like how do you just like approach a girl. So after a while you just get their advice for every little thing from approaching a girl, how you take her out, what you do with how like what the next date should be, all that stuff. Excuse me. But yeah, but after a while, like as you get older you have to like think for yourself and then
Yeah.
in terms of these things, and you'll listen to them, listen to their opinions and respect their opinions, but at the same day, like that's your life. At the end of the day, you have to know what's best for you, and I think that's why it's best to like learn who you are, like learn about yourself before like talking to somebody else, so you
Yeah.
know what you want, you know what you like, what you want in a woman, what you want in a relationship, and what makes you happy. You know?
Yeah, it's funny. I'm glad you said that because, like when I was younger, in my late 20s, early 30s, and a buddy of mine, he was like a babe magnet. This guy, just
Mhm.
wherever you, and he, and I love him to death like a brother.
Yeah.
And he would tell me to, oh, do it this way and that. But I'm like, dude, but that works for you.
Right.
You're bold like that. You could
Hmm.
like take and you don't care. If the girl turns it out, you're like, he laughs it off. It just, flicks his shoulder
Right.
like nothing.
Right.
And me, I might be like, it might screw me up for a day or two. You
You're
know what I
right.
mean? And for him, and then I had another guy. So there was like three of us at one time hanging out together. This was like I said, late 80s, early 90s. And I would try to, get advice from them, but it didn't work
Right.
because I don't have their personality.
Same
Like
here.
when it came up to approaching someone, it felt weird. As I got older, then I developed my own style, and that's
Right.
different. But when I was younger, no, I didn't have any style.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, and that's the thing with your best friend. When they influence you, they give you pointers. It could be either bad or good. And I
Yeah.
think sometimes it's more bad than good because it fits their profile. It doesn't necessarily fit us.
Right. And the funny part about that, sometimes that friend is gonna look at you like, "What's wrong with you?" Like they think they're giving you the best advice and nothing's working. And they were like, "Well, like you just suck at getting women." And it's like, after a while, you think about that too. He's like, man, do I do suck? Like all that stuff. And then after a while, you're like, nah, it's just like I'm not you. You're not me. You have your way, and I have to find my way. Like I can't just like you did, like your friend. I can't just approach a girl, and and rejection, he just keeps it moving. Like if I get rejected, remember in my early 20s, when I get rejected, I would like in being in my dark in the room in the dark, like just contemplating about what's wrong with me. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, geez, I am never gonna find nothing nothing out here. So it's yeah, it's funny. Like looking back, I'm like, I could not handle. It's like you just couldn't handle any type of rejection at the time. And
Yeah. Listen,
or just,
women go through that too. I had some female friends tell me the same thing. Like there'll be a guy that they're really interested in and they want to approach him, and unfortunately, they get, they'll talk to their girlfriend, and the girlfriend says, no, he should approach you. No,
right.
you're not supposed to. No, let him approach you. And
Yeah,
then the guy doesn't even know that the girl's
it doesn't
interested.
acknowledge. Yeah,
It doesn't. And then
yeah.
the girl, now
I've seen
she's
that
upset,
too.
and she's upset because she let her best friend,
Hmm.
influence her. So it definitely goes both ways.
Yeah, that part blows my mind when I hear about that stories.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, and yeah, you think it's only us, but women go through the same thing with their best friend. But like I said, it you had to develop your style, and
yeah,
sometimes you got to say, if you do get rejected or something, yeah, you get rejected, you just got to say, okay, you know what, it just wasn't the right time. Maybe you got
hmm
to psych yourself up or out and say,
yeah.
hey, maybe he wasn't right for me or she wasn't right for me.
You're right.
Things happen. People have a bad day. They just go out, and then I remember I remember one time I went out dancing. This girl had a face on her, and then after it was like four of my buddies, and there was
Yeah,
four of them.
yeah,
I was the only one that wasn't dancing. And
yeah.
she wasn't either. And then she came up to me and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, but me and my boyfriend had a fight." But I'm like, hey, you don't need to explain it to me. We're good.
Right.
I never saw her again. I didn't care.
Yeah.
But if that's the thing, you gotta just, like I said, just sometimes go with the flow and let the punches or whatever roll off your
Yeah.
shoulder.
Yeah. Because yeah, at the end of the day, like you can't. Like I think for guys, we deal with that rejection. Well, definitely more than women because we're the one that constantly have to do the approaching and whatnot. So like we're more used to it, but it takes a while in the beginning, and that's when you have those friends that you go for advice. So
Yeah.
yeah, like I'm 36 now, still single, still learning how to do the whole courting thing or do the whole dating scene because it has evolved since my early 20s till now. With the whole dating app situation, so he's like, that's like a whole different type of influence because you gotta your profile is your influence basically.
Yeah.
Like you got to put all your best stuff on there, to attract whoever's looking at it. So in a
It's,
sense, like
it's funny that you said that. Sorry, Ken.
yeah,
I
no,
sorry,
right,
damn quote. But it's funny because I was just thinking about that because I've been online, and it's true. Now you have to influence yourself or influence the opposite sex or the next
mm-hmm,
or whoever it is.
mm-hmm,
And I was thinking about that a little while ago because sometimes now it seems like everybody wants to text and nobody wants to have a conversation.
right,
Uh, and what you said, it hit home where, you know what, now when you do your profile, if you do online, you got to put your best foot forward and you
yeah,
have to do the influencing yourself because, you're
right.
putting everything out there for them to read.
Yeah, like you're basically an ad. You got to put your best marketing skills on there, and like put your best your features out there, and hopefully catch something. And then you gotta show that to that person when they actually talk to you. So it's like you got be out there. And sometimes that might be you. You
Yeah.
thinking that's you in the sense like, hey, yeah, I'm outgoing. Like me, I'm homebody. Like I like to stay home. I'm doing like I don't like
Yeah.
I don't like I don't like going out to the clubs or whatever. Once in a blue, yeah, but it's like on a Friday weekend, I'm just like I'd rather stay home, watch a movie, chill, like whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got put on. But it's like you have to be honest after a while. Like, hey, this is who I am. I'm not this type of guy. Uh, so take it or leave it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, but it is this day and age is kind of it's tougher because I think women want more in guys now. They know what they want in a sense. So most women know what they want in a sense,
Yeah.
and yeah, they're still going to be influenced by whoever they on their team.
But
on
they're
their
gonna
side.
always talk to their best friend, to their best
Right.
girlfriend. They're gonna always ask an opinion. And I think guys, sometimes they do, and so I think most of the time they'll go at it, but they'll say, hey, they'll talk to somebody. But I think, in my opinion, and what I see and what I hear, most women do seek an opinion from their best friend,
Hmm.
and they'll listen. Maybe 9 out of 10 times, 8 out of 10 times, like, nah, he's not for you. Nah, I don't think he's your type. Nah, he's okay
Right.
looking, whatever. Or does he have money? Or if he doesn't have money, you shouldn't go out with him. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, and I think with guys, again, I might seek an opinion, but most of the time compared to when I was in my 20s and 30s, I'll
Yeah.
go at it alone. Maybe I might say
Right.
something, but for
Hmm.
most part, I just go at it, because especially me, that I'm in my late 50s. So for you, Ken, if you had to do it all over, what would the Ken from at 36 would tell Ken at 26?
Uh, yeah, that's a good question because I feel like I'm still learning. So 26, Ken was a little was way more shyer than 36. Um, Not confident enough because I've been a big guy most of my life, so I always thought women like guys that were small, fit, whatever. And even in 26, I still had that mentality. So I was always going to the gym and whatnot. I always tell him like, just be yourself at the end of the day, because it's harder to be something you're not. It drains you physically, mentally, all that stuff to a point where you won't even know who you are.
Mm,
So it's best to like just be straight up honest with that person. And if that person doesn't like it, well, that's on them. Because you learn that women are going through things like we talked about, are going through these type of changes and they're being influenced by whoever and thinking how things should be. So it's best for yourself, me as a 26-year-old, to just be yourself and be happy and like don't be ashamed to what you're into and let people know, you know, all
yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, that's good. I mean, again, it's everyday life is learning. You're learning something new. You learn something
Right.
new about yourself, especially if you're not, like I said, compared to my friend, where he didn't care. He will approach, and he's a short guy, maybe 5'6", 5'7", maybe
Yeah.
something like that. But he didn't
Yeah.
care. He didn't care. Uh, and he would ask me on occasion my opinion. I'm like, and I would tell him, I said, dude, if you're feeling it, just go for it. That's it.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
want to really, I'm like, who am I
Get in
to
the way of
say,
things.
nah,
Yeah.
nah. I mean, if I know the girl and if I see her attitude, I'm like, dude, her attitude kind of sucks, man. And again, I'm influencing him, but at the end of the day, we all got to be, for guys, we got to make our own decision.
Right.
We got to go with what our heart and our gut is telling us.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we rely too much on our friend to tell us something.
Right.
Tell us what we want to hear.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah,
know?
exactly. Like you have that the ecosystem, I think they call it, the ecosystem, where you just have people that you agree with or agree with you all around you. Like you don't want nobody against your opinions on things. So you're bound to listen to everyone around you. It can't be helped because they have your same interest in a
Right.
way. So yeah, like but sometimes it's good to go against somebody, even though they could be your closest friend. They might know you better than you know yourself. But still, it's like this is what you think is good for you, and like that. Take in consideration what they're saying, but you just gotta be happy at the end of the day. Like it's all about you. Like that's all you could
Yeah.
really focus on, really. So yeah.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
it's funny. Now, I wonder if it's like, I have a few female friends that are very close, but I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think I ever asked any of them, hey, what they think of, so and so. Like, do you have any female friends that you will rely on, maybe get an assist from, like, hey, I'm trying
Oh
to,
yeah.
how would you, I want to talk to this girl. You're my best friend as a female.
Mm-hmm.
You're a man and she's a
Yeah.
female. So have you gone through? Because I can't say that I ever had that. I have a lot of close female friends, but
Yeah.
can't say if I ever really talked to them about, um, what should I do or what I shouldn't do.
Well, lately that's all I go to. I go straight to my female friends now. I don't even go to my male friends because like I go to them straight up first, and
And well,
like
the
they
females
get
have definitely more sense than us guys,
they
unfortunately.
definitely do, but at the same time, like they have some male tendencies. Like they're like, yeah, go for it, dude. Like they're like, yeah, what you got nothing to lose or this. But I will get their opinion about things, and like based on what I tell them about the girl I'm dating. I mean, they'll tell me honestly, they like either they like it or not. It's like they'll notice the red flag before I do, in a
Yeah.
sense. And it's like I find that hilarious. So, and like I'm thinking like the red flags for me, the red flag for them is like something, all right. It's like a little flaw in that person I'm dating's personality, but it's not like a deal breaker. But for
Right.
them, it's like, oh no, that's bad. Like you really should take that in consideration, like whatever that is. And I'm just like, really? I'm like, okay. And then sometimes they're right. It's like, oh wow, that situation, that person, that red flag, that thing where I thought it was nothing is bigger than what it is. So it kind of helps out for me sometimes. But at the same time, it's good. Like my female friends, they'll call me out on my stupidity. I mean,
Right.
if they're like, yeah, you messed that up, like you did something, like this is your fault, you gotta be held accountable for this action. Um, so I like that. It's like I look at the males, most of my male friends, they'll just say, no, that was her. She got issues. You're good. But my female friends, they're always like, they'll help me accountable if I'm wrong for it.
Yeah, they'll tell you the truth. Yeah, like I said,
Yeah, they'll
it's
be
funny
honest.
because yeah, they'll definitely be honest where the guys might say, "Oh no, no, it's not you." Yeah, I like that because like I said, I don't. I have female friends that I'm very close to, but again, I don't. If I did approach them, I can't remember. So obviously, most of the time, as I got older, I just rely on myself and my
Right,
gut instinct. And sometimes it's wrong because sometimes I don't listen to my gut,
right,
and that's a mistake too. If you don't
yeah,
listen to your gut. Um, and I think with women, like I said, they could break it down.
hmm
And since I started doing this show, and I had some great guests on, and they just pretty much could break it down because they more. I say more than guys. They absorb more.
hmm
They look at the big picture in
right,
some cases. Where us, I don't think we look that far ahead. We're looking at the present moment,
oh,
and
yeah,
we might not look at maybe I should break it down and think about what should I do, what I shouldn't do. I think with
hmm
women,
yeah,
they see the big picture. I mean, obviously
yeah.
having them on your side I think it's huge.
Oh, yeah,
Like I
it's a
said, they
game
see
changer.
they see the red flag before we do.
Yeah, yeah. And
It has
like
to be
that,
obvious to us. We have to get that.
yeah.
What is that like? That signal coming to us, like the
Uh,
plane or whatever.
oh,
Yeah, come this way.
the light. I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
guy signaling you like go this way.
Yeah,
This is the right
exactly.
direction for you.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I think like yeah, women are definitely like the female friends of me are definitely those type of advisors for me. That's why if I was like heavily influenced on my friends, it'll be mostly on the female side.
Right.
So it's like, but it's great to know that they will help me accountable for my BS. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, okay, like you're digging in kind of hard on me right now. They're like, no, it's tough love. You need this, and I was like, all right, but no, it's good to have that. It really is.
No, like I say, I agree. It's definitely a plus. Like I said, I had a lot of close female friends. I never took it upon myself to ask for advice. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You always rely on your buddies and all that. And
Yeah.
like I said, most of them, like they'll say, "Oh man, screw her, man." Like you just said, "Oh, nah, you don't need her. There's plenty of fish. Oh no, no, she's
Yeah.
wrong." You the one that, like you said, you're the good guy. You know what? You got a good heart. Sometimes you want to hear that, but sometimes you're
Yeah.
like, "Come on, dude, what
Kim,
happened, man?
yeah.
Give
I'm
me
obviously
the
doing
effing
something
truth."
wrong here.
Yeah,
Like you know
exactly.
me. Like just tell me the truth. But
Yeah. And,
yeah,
and,
but yeah.
and you get that from a woman. They'll tell
Oh
you,
yeah.
they'll say, "Oh, maybe you should change your hair, dress better, this and that." I think only
Yeah.
one time a buddy of mine, he told me, because uh, when I used to go to clubs back in, oh God, it might have been early 2000s. I was still in my 40s.
Mhm.
And, I had a tendency to always wear like a blazer, slacks, a dress shirt. And
Mhm.
I didn't even notice Ken around me, but he
Yeah.
noticed it. He goes, dude, it's the way you dress. More guys now like to dress in jeans and a short sleeve shirt or a shirt that they roll up,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
casual.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was still dressing old school where I like to wear the slacks and the blazer.
Mhm.
And then one day I like woke up and I looked around. I'm like, holy shit, all these guys are just in jeans and the shirt
Exactly.
out there. So that was an
Yeah.
influence that I needed.
Right. 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 Oh
you
yeah.
know?
That's yeah. This.
So there's some parts where your friend does influence you that's count. But when it comes to I think couples, boy, that's
Yeah.
where's the balance?
Yeah. I
Do you lean
think
towards the
for
female more, or do you lean towards your best friend who's usually a guy? You know what I mean?
yeah. And plus, you kind of want to see what's their status in that situation, in their current situation. Like,
Yeah.
do you see the guy, your guy friend that's like married with kids, that haven't been in the game for so long? Like, do you still listen to their advice, or also with the women when they're married with kids, like, do you listen to their advice? Because it's like, I mean, they're just they're just living, they're just worrying about their kids first and husband last at the end of the day.
Yeah,
So it's like, do you really?
that's like asking someone, hey, I need some investment advice. He doesn't have a penny to his pocket.
Right, right. He's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm out the game. It's like,
Yeah.
it's funny. Like a lot of my friends now are like married with kids, and they're looking at me like they want to live through me as a bachelor, and I'm just like, listen, I'm trying to get where you at. Like, I'm already a homebody person. I don't like going to the club. I mean, like I said, I'll go out casually once in a while, but not all the time. Like, I'm not really out there like that. So it's like I'm trying to get to where you at. So like I can't even tell you any decent stories about my bachelor days because like it's still in my, especially during the quarantine. This quarantine time is like
Oh
it's
yeah, I
pretty much
mean
dead.
that just killed everybody. I mean,
Right,
unless you were already with the person, but even then you were probably scared, especially if you weren't living with the person. You're like, oh my god, I don't want to catch something, especially
right.
the deadly COVID. Again, Ken, it's funny. It's just fascinating. Sometimes we don't look at it, uh, from our perspective. We always like rely on someone, which is good to have people on your side. But and like I said before, at the end of the day, it's you gotta have that feeling. You gotta go with your
Hmm.
gut in your heart. Sure, maybe they might do. Somebody might see the red flag in the other person, but at the end of the day, I mean, you got to fight your feelings.
Right,
Especially if
right,
you like the girl or the girl likes you, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean?
right.
So
Yeah,
it's as I said, catch 22. Like, do you
yeah,
rely on your female friend, your male friend, or do you go with your gut, or you just try to talk to both, with your
yeah.
own gut and her or him,
Right,
and then make the decision yourself.
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you still have to make that decision yourself. Like that's you gotta live with that decision. So it's like I think that you have to listen to what you want.
Yeah.
Because like you said, I don't think no one knows how they got to their point to marriage, like stuff like that. Like you may see it from outside, from like, oh wow, these two were. You remember when these two hooked up, and now they're on their third child.
Yeah.
Now, but it's like with you, it's like you don't. To them, they probably don't even know how they got there. You know what I mean, they're
Yeah.
like, well, just all I said was hello to this girl. Next thing you know, I put a ring on it. But it's
Yeah.
like for so. I mean, like me, I'm just like, all right, I'm just trying to figure things out. And like I'm like a millennial, as you said. Like I'm 36. Like I'm getting to a point where I don't have to get married, but it's like I would like to. I would like to, experience that life for
Yeah.
me. So
No, and you being honest. That's what it's about. You being honest. So, and
yeah,
at the end of the day, it's still, relationships are hard, man.
hmm
It's such hard to, you got to put into work, and it seems like it's a 24-hour day job, man.
oh yeah, it really is. And yeah, like I said, like I think even when people are married, they still have to deal with influence.
Oh
Like they
yeah.
still gotta listen who they listen to, and all that stuff. That's why I think that's why they have like, and some, like I said, some influencers are good. Like that's why they have like therapists and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You listen to help them out. Even for single people, they have like a therapist. I have a therapist now that
Right.
I've been talking to, and lately I talked. Last session I had with her was about relationships and stuff like that, and she's a female, so I was like, I was trying to get her input on things.
Yeah.
So it was always good to have. It's you're always gonna have that around. What I'm trying to say, some type of influence, whether you're single, married, divorced, whatever. So it's like,
Listen,
it's always around you.
athletes have coaches, and they go
Yeah.
to their coach, even business
Right.
people, CEOs, they have a coach or they got
Right.
people to talk to. So at the end of the day, it's again, you still have to make the decision. You still have to do everything yourself, but it's always trying, getting opinion, it doesn't hurt.
Right.
It's just the influence that you don't want to be make that wrong decision because you got influenced by someone else, and they might not want to see you happy. They might like, oh man, this guy has someone that's great, and or she has someone that's great, and then sometimes they might screw you over just for the hell of it. I should say for the hell of it, but there's always, you got to find that part that they could be jealous about you.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. So,
Yeah.
but it's like us, anybody. At the end of the day, you have to make the decision yourself.
Right. Exactly.
But anyway, Ken, I appreciate you being on People on Dating.
Thank you.
This was a good topic, and
Thank
especially
you.
getting a millennial finally get someone. So anyway, Ken, again, thank you so much for being on People on Dating.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate being here.
Yeah, definitely, and we'll definitely talk soon.
All right, so I will.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.
Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's show, People on Dating, episode number 7. What if your best friend influences you? Tell us what you think. Give us go to the comment page on Facebook. Look for us there on People on Dating YouTube show, or just go to YouTube and look for us there, People on Dating, and leave your comments. Tell us what you think. Do you let your best friend influences you? For those who want to be a guest on this show, I'm always looking for great guests. Go to peopleondating@gmail.com. That's peopleondating@gmail.com. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. Until next time, I'm your host, Willie Morales, and please stay safe. Thanks. Bye.